Welcome back. In this demo, we are going to learn about Dockerfile, add and copy instructions, and also add versus copy, how it is going to look like. So let's go ahead and understand what is a copy instruction. In our previous demos, we already used the copy instruction, but here we are going to learn it on a very detailed way. So what is copy instruction in Dockerfile? Copy instruction copies new files or directories from source and adds them to the file system of the image at the path which is called destination, right? Now, one important thing to know about copy instruction is files and directories can be copied from the build context, build stage, named context, and also from an image. So all these things are possible if we are using the copy instruction. So then what is then add instruction, right? So that also we need to know. So for add instruction also, the definition is going to be same. The add instruction copies new files or directories from source and adds them to the file system of the image at the path destination. So it's the same thing for both, but important things are files and directories can be copied from the build context. So from build context, which is same for both copy and add instructions. But in add instruction, you have some important things, which is you can add the files from a remote URL and also you can add files from a Git repository. So that's the key difference for copy and add. And in 99.99% of the cases, we use copy only. In rare cases only, we use add. So that's another important thing to remember. So if you see here, this is 05 Dockerfile add versus copy, and here you see in the copy instruction in the Dockerfiles folder you have the copyfile.html, which will copy to usr share nginx html folder. So the name is copy-file.html. so that is copy thing, whatever is doing. And in the add thing, what it is doing is in app files folder there are multiple files, and those files we are going to zip it and store it in static files.tar.zz in Dockerfiles folder. And now we are going to say add static files.tar.zz to usr share nginx html. So what happens is add can also untar the files. So that's the key advantage of add instruction. So you have provided a tarred file here, tar and zzip file here, and when it is creating a Docker image, it can untar the files present inside this zip file to this location. So now if we go back to our Visual Studio Code here, in the app files, you have file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, file 5 and index.html. So all these files we will zip it and put it in Dockerfiles folder with the name static files.tar.zz. And that when running this docker build command with this Docker file, this add instruction will untar those files at this location. So that's additional advantage of using add instruction. So you can unzip the files during the build time. So that's the key thing. Now let's come back and compare both copy versus add. So from file transfer perspective, copy copies files from build context, and for add also it is the same thing. And from tar archive extraction perspective, copy command doesn't have that flexibility. Tar archive extraction is not present in copy command, but in add it automatically extracts the .tar files. So that's the advantage of using add instruction. In the same way, URL support is not present for copy instruction, but for add instruction we have the URL support from the web. And performance, if you compare copy with add, copy is going to be faster and less overhead, and add is going to be slower if using additional features like tar, untar, and then URL, get it from the remote URL, all those things, it is going to be slower. And from security also, copy is safe for local file transfers, and when we are using the remote URLs, add will be a security risk for us. So that's another important thing. And from use case perspective, copy is preferred for all local file copies, And add use only for tar extraction or URL fetching until and unless it is absolutely needed. If not, try to use copy in maximum cases. So that's about copy versus add instructions in a Docker file. So let's go ahead and then practically implement it. I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye. Thank you.